crash, we're taking flight. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. Rafting close to the windshield blade. Adrenaline rush fills a fire grenade. Roaring past the clouds, will let you roar. Every lap, every turn, craving more. Push the pedal down, nothing left to lose. Victory's a choice, and this is what we choose. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. No time to spare. Push the pedal down, nothing left to lose. Victory's a choice, and this is what we choose. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. Rubber bugs, streams ignite. Steel beats charging into the fight. No regrets, no slowing down. We're the kings of this battleground. No time to spare. No time to spare. No time to spare. No time to spare. Engines swinging, tires break the ground. Beagles, trucks, where legends are crowned. Metamorphosis, name burning in the night. Lights flash, speed clash, we're taking flight. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. Rafting close to the windshield blade. Adrenaline rush fills a fire grenade. Roaring past the clouds, will let you roar. Every lap, every turn, craving more. Push the pedal down, nothing left to lose. Victory's a choice, and this is what we choose. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. No time to spare. Push the pedal down, nothing left to lose. Victory's a choice, and this is what we choose. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. Rubber bugs, streams ignite. Steel beats charging into the fight. No regrets, no slowing down. We're the kings of this battleground. No time to spare. No time to spare. No time to spare. No time to spare. Engines swinging, tires break the ground.
Vision. Planning. Possibility. At Metamorphosis Machine, we turn ideas into engineered reality. Whether you're working with plastics, composites, ferrous or non-ferrous metals, our capabilities and vast partner network ensure no project is too big, too small, or too complex. From concept to completion, your success starts here. Discover how metamorphosis can elevate your machining needs today. Precision, planning, possibility. At Metamorphosis Machine, we turn ideas into engineered reality. Whether you're working with plastics, composites, ferrous or non-ferrous metals, our capabilities and vast partner network ensure no project is too big, too small, or too complex. From concept to completion, your success starts here. Discover how metamorphosis can elevate your machining needs today.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening from the beautiful Daytona International Speedway as the HCK Beagles Truck Series is back underway here tonight. The drivers are back to play, they're back to duke it out, and they are here to have some fun here in the now Metamorphosis Truck Series powered by the HCK Beagles, as each and every one of these drivers looking to get their series off in the right foot here, trying to put themselves into a great position here in the opening race of the season, trying to win that first race, trying to earn a lot of points, trying to put yourself into some good momentum heading in throughout the rest of the regular season before the playoffs get underway in a few short months. As Richard Bradshaw, what's good, Richard? Richard says Richard Bradshaw in the mother in the house, baby. Coming in, showing the love. How are you, Richard? How are you, Mister? Says, let's effing go. Number 20, Jason LePan. As LePan looking good out there on the speedways right now. Qualifying underway. Drivers getting done their qualifying sessions as of right now. So it does look like potentially winning here this evening. Let me double check this. I want to make sure I get it right. The Tech Warrior pole position here this evening. The Tech Warrior pole position is going to go to the number 25 of Gordon Glidewell. Glidewell will win that beautiful Tech Warrior pole spot here this evening. Let's get a good look here at this ride as he's sitting down pit side. There it is, that Midnight Machine is the 25 ride. Qualifying on the pole position. He'll be looking good. He'll be looking strong here this evening. K-Dub Kevin Winker in his beautiful number 42 will start there in second. Bobby Blair in that Ridge Power Sports KR Gutters number 75 ride there in third, with John Herbert in his Ridge Power Sports KR Gutters number 87 machine starting there in fourth. Then we do see Brad Lane will start in that fifth position, as starting back in sixth will be the number 5 right. That is the Snyder Bees machine of Nicholas Snyder there in sixth. Starting in position number 7 in the Juke joint, the Frets for Pets in number 31. It's Rob McDonald. Rob will start there in that 7th position. To his outside in the 68, that is Evan Goulmet. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Goulmet, or is it Goulmetti? Hopefully I'm getting that right. Evan Goulmet in the 68 ride is going to start in position number 8 here this evening. Starting in position number 9 in the Ghost Energy number 77 is Brandon DeMang. To his outside in the Frets for Pets, the Juke joint number 4, it is Tim Blankenbeckler. Starting in position number 11 in the Napa Gold Filters number 29, that is Tyler Lemon. To his outside in that Ridge Power Sports KR Gutters number 469, it is Ryan Peterson. Starting in position number 13 in the beautiful Frets for Pets, the Juke joint number 83, it's Dimitri Curtis, who will start there in the 13th position. To his outside in the Innovative Physical Therapy Solutions number 50 ride, that is Robert Howard, who will start in the 14th spot here this evening. Starting back in the 15th position, I do believe will be the number 12 ride here. That's a beautiful looking ride, the Tech Warrior machine of Tim Felker. Felker will start back in the 15th position. To his outside will be the Tech Warrior, the Warrior Racing number 20 ride. That is the beautiful looking machine right there of Jason LePan. I do believe Kyle Van Tassel maybe just in front of him, as we do see back there. He's got his Tech Warrior number 18 ride ready to rumble, ready to roll here this evening, as he's got the Metamorphosis assists on board with them here as well. Huge shout out there to the Metamorphosis machine coming on board here as our series sponsor again this season. As the 18 rivals are back there about the 17th, 18th position. We see an Ed Goshersberger right there to his outside. The 19 ride currently in that 19th position with Chris Gilbert back there in 20th. Cal Turboville back there in 21st. And it is the Waffle House, number 14, of Kyle Wiggins. Kyle will start back there at the rear of the field in 22nd. Here this evening as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go to battle here as our first green flag of the season is upon us as we are back to battle for season number 8 here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series as we get ready to set them loose here at Daytona International Speedway. Each and every one of these drivers hoping to try to find themselves up and into victory lane as this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be a great show as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here in the Metamorphosis Series. The 25 right onto the loud pedal. He's trying to keep himself out in front, but quickly right to the outside group, able to jump down in front of him. So for Kevin Winkler, jumps up into that top spot as of right now. But here comes John Herbert. Herbert there to his outside as the Muleburger Custom Homes Wincarnation number 42 trying to hold him back at bay, but it looks like the outside lane. Not messing around for the 5 ride of Mr. Nicholas Snyder. He is not looking to back down. He's going to continue to keep his foot in the throttle, trying to push that 87 ride out in front, as I know Nick would love to try to jump up here early on, try to put himself into a good position at the front of the field. Came up just a little bit shy of winning the championship last year, and right now he's going to love seeing that last season's champion back in about the 19th position. Unfortunately for the Warrior Racing number 18 ride, Mr. Jacob Grube, after winning last season, sweeping the championship round. 3 races, 5 drivers duked it out for that championship. Jacob Grube didn't give them an inch, winning all 3 races, including this 18 ride. Our champion there in season 7. Can he back it up with maybe a championship here in season 8? We're gonna find out. As out in front, it is Herbert and Snyder. Now door to door, John Herbert jumps down low in front of that 42 of Kevin Winkler. Winkler's gonna give him a jump and keep that 87 of John Herbert out in front and continue to lead here this evening. As the laps will get clicked off in a quick hurry. No caution flags here except for incidents out there on the speedway, as we do now have stages. I do believe the stages, if I do get it right here, so the stages will not be a caution. They will not be a stage break or anything else there at the time of the stage, and it is always going to be 30% of the length of the race. So here tonight, it is the completion of lap 23. The top 6 drivers at the completion of lap 23, whether we're under the yellow or the green flag conditions, whoever those top 6 cars are across the line will earn some big stage points here this evening. And throughout the season, being able to earn those stage points, being able to earn that extra little bit could be the difference maker between making it into the playoffs or missing out on the playoffs and not having a chance at it. As we do see the 87 looks the split, gained up a little bit 3 wide right there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a whole lot of help coming here for that Ridge Power Sports team. Looks like Herbert will fall back into line here, potentially behind the 68 ride of Evan Goulmet. Is Goulmet gonna keep himself right here in the battle? A newcomer here to the season and to the series, the 68 of Evan Goulmet back there in that good position. Great to see some new drivers out here, some new competitors. Obviously, there's a lot of drivers we're missing from last season. Hopefully, we'll see them join in and join back into the fun here after tonight or throughout the first couple of weeks and see these guys continue to Gordon Glidewell, another one of the new drivers here. As you do see the 75 ride jump down to the 8 apron here for Bobby Blair. Unfortunately, that will move Bobby quite a ways back here as well, so he's going to fall back. His lead group, obviously everyone's still in this lead group, but there is a bit of a gap starting to brew here. A little bit of a gap, maybe just a buffer zone here for a lot of these drivers a little deeper in the field, trying to play it safe, trying to play it smart here, not wanting to put themselves into a tough position after on the racetrack. Another new driver here on the season. The 29 ride, the Napa Golden Filters number 29 machine of Lemon. First time out there on the racetrack here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series here as well as back a little farther. That beautiful Tech Warrior number 12 ride of Tim Felker. Felker also a new driver here to the series, so welcome into Tim Felker. Welcome into all of our new drivers. We do have one more new one back here. A little deeper in the field, the 14 ride. That is Kyle Wiggins, another new driver here in that Waffle House 14 ride to the series. So shout out there to Kyle Wiggins. Shout out to Tim Felker. Obviously, shout out there to Tyler Lemon, the number 68 of Evan Gourmet and Gordon. Becoming part of the HCK Beagles. Can't wait to see what they can do and what they may be able to produce here for some great racing action throughout the season, as right now they're looking pretty good. As you do see, K-Dub makes a move way down to the inside again. Looks to fill the block a little bit on that 5 right of Nicholas Snyder. Snyder will get in line. Look like the 68 of Evan. Down in front of that 5 right. Unfortunately, there just really was not enough room right there, so unfortunately has to stay in line. He'll lead that second group. We'll see if he continues to try to throw some blocks and control this race as Matt rolls right there in third. Gordon right looks for more, as well as our pole sitter through this as well. So looking fierce out there on the speedway. Looking very, very nice there for Well, that car is looking great. Out there on the racetrack. Strong here as well, been up inside the top line pretty much all the long after one line in the pole position. So that 68 ride of the Evan in the garage at the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. Unfortunately, rolling that outside lane, just not being able to carry that speed and momentum that he was looking for there, down through 1 and 2 as they'll be drove back down the back straightaway here by that 42 ride. Kevin Winker, K-Dub, always looks so good, is always so strong here at these plate races. It is kind of his jam, it's kind of his thing to be on his A game when it comes to these super speedways. Unfortunately, sometimes it goes very, very wrong for him. Other times, it can play out really, really nicely for that 42 ride. So for K-Dub, he's just hoping that he can try to keep this thing going in the right direction, avoid any major calamities, and try to keep that 42 ride on all 4 tires here this evening. Somehow or another, and upside down when we come to these plate tracks. We do see Rob McDonald working that inside lane. Looks like Rob will work his way up and into that 3rd position. Him and his Rexboro Pets joint teammate, that 4 rider, Tim Blankenbeckler, have been navigating their way up towards the front here. They've been slicing and dicing their way up. So hasn't that beautiful number 83 of Dimitri Curtis. Dimitri's looking great out there on the speedway for that 83 ride. He's going to continue to look to try to work his way up towards the front of the field here. It's still very, very racy. Look at the shuffle around out there on the racetrack, man. Open at the mouth, waiting to get back to battle, waiting to get back to the racetrack here. Off season, obviously, when the season came to a close, we saw Jacob win that championship. But for all these other drivers, there was something missing over the last month or two that they've just been waiting and Caution here, trying to get back into the action, know that they want another shot, they want another opportunity, they want a chance of their own to try and win the series. Huge shout out again to Metamorphosis as our main sponsor here, and our always amazing sponsor focus on. A huge shout out there to all of our series sponsor there for Metamorphosis Machine LLC. Ridge Power sponsor for Ridge Power Sports. I don't know if we're going to be shouting out whatever too much, man. These guys, the HCK Beagles, a fantastic job. We see a lot of blue and green races where we don't see really any yellow flags. So for the Ridge Power Sports, caution here this evening. You may not see a yellow flag all night long, but when it comes to these super speedways, you just never quite know when potentially something may come up, something may happen, maybe the big one starts to unfold. Let's see how it gets played out. Tech Warrior Technologies. Sponsor for the season. Huge shout out to them. Huge shout out to KR Gunners as well. Coming back on board with us. And we can't cheer these guys on and show the love here in the HCK Beagles is out in front. It's still Winker Nation. K-Dub continues to lead the way. Kevin out in front here. He's got that 5, but Nicholas Snyder right there on his back bumper. We really haven't seen Snyder make too many moves here. I'm not sure if he just feels comfy being here behind that 42 right. Knows that K-Dub is very, very good. Is definitely going to be a strong competitor. Who's going to end back bumper, make all the right moves at the right time, and try to hang with K-Dub. Potential winning strategy late in this race. As here we go, outside lane, building up some momentum as the 31 of Rob McDonald. He's not done. He wants to find the top spot here this evening as Trent works to the outside group here, looking for a big run in that 31 ride as the Juke join. Brett's for Pence ride, trying to take the race lead away from Kevin Winker. Winker, though, down through 3 and 4. Gets a great run, some great shows here from behind, and it looks like K-Dub back down through the tri-oval will lead another lap. Here it is. And this field looking fierce this evening, man. There is some amazing talent. All these drivers just looking hungry as ever to try and find their way into victory lane this evening. We see virtually our first, 6 rows or so, still double file out there on the racetrack. We got to go all the way back to about the 12th place driver here, Brett Lane. First car kind of single file out there on the racetrack with Brandon Ming, Kyle Van Tassel, John Herbert, Bobby Blair, Jacob Grew back there, Jason LePan in the 18th position, Tim Felker there in 19th with Chris Gilbert, Kyle Wiggins, and Ed Contrasberger bringing up the rear of the field there in the 22nd position. But for a lot of these drivers, it's a lot about being patient. Being patient, being smart, biding your time, and picking and choosing when you need to try to make it as Richard says, okay, yeah, it definitely is. Okay, let's turn that down here a little bit. Must have turned that up for the music and never turned it back down. I appreciate that, Richard, for letting us know there. Giving us a good heads up right there. Thank you for that, brother. As we go, that should make it quite a bit better there. That should clear it up, should make it better, so that way you guys can hear us and hear what we're saying up here in the booth. Richard said, yeah, good to see Richard here in the chat. Sean Arita in the chat as well says, let's go Winker, hashtag Winker Nation. Okay, now that the volume is good there, Richard, how's it looking? How's the stream looking? We've been going through some different changes, trying to make some changes here on the broadcast, trying to make sure that everything looks good, it sounds good, everything kind of works perfectly here. We always want to make sure that you guys get the best looks, the best aspects of everything here on Peacemaker Gaming. That's why we're not doing the multi-stream right now. We actually have it as YouTube only. YouTube allows us to pump out the quality to a much higher extent compared to what Facebook and Twitch does, especially now that Facebook is virtually ending. their live streaming, their live gaming, and everything else for the partner program and everything come the new year. So for Facebook, Facebook has kind of unfortunately been a dying breed. It's been dying out. It's been going the wrong direction. But, Twitch may be getting a little bit better, but I know YouTube right now is the best place for not only trying to, produce good audio, but also trying to get very, very good picture quality here for all of these broadcasts. Out in front, it's K-Dub, Kevin Winker, continuing to lead the way here. That 31 of Rob McDonald working to his outside. As Trench looking to try to take the race lead, looking to try to put himself out in front, as here comes the 469 ride, Orion Peterson, the 50, a Robert Howard. They've been slowly but surely navigating their way to the front of the field here. Same with Cal Turbeville right there in that Klondike 64 ride. He's looking to try to put himself back up into victory lane here this season. And for the 64 ride, moving through the field, already up 14 positions. Started back in 22nd here for Captain, and now he is in position number 8 on the Speedway, man. What a run so far for that 64 ride. Dimitri Curtis and the Ford Machine, a pair of those French for Pence Juke joint rides right there with them. But now this is where the intensity level is going to start to pick up. So we know 30% of the way through this race is where we will see the stage end here this evening. So our first stage of the season is going to end on the completion of lap number 23. So for all these drivers, they know there are very, very valuable points that are going to be able to jump in there. Truck's still way louder than you, especially on the drive-bys. All right, let's see. I need to go through the audio a little bit more, trying to fix that up, trying to make it a little bit better for you guys. Look out! There we go! They're wrecking down the back straightaway. We talked about the big one. Well, here it is. There's a lot of drivers, unfortunately, getting tied up here early on this evening. And we see some solid contact, some solid damage there for Kevin Winker. As out in front, it sometimes seems to be the safest place out there on the Speedway, but other times it can be the most treacherous. As our first caution flag here of the season, let's take a look at it, see what happens. I'm not sure if we get a big bump here potentially for Kevin Winker. Let's see if we get another angle at this one. See here. Okay, so does K-Dub get a bump here? No, it looks like Trench potentially gets some contact here. I'm not sure if the 5 ride of Snyder gets into him or if potentially the 31 gets a big bump here from the 469 ride. Maybe a little bit of both here. All right, so you're watching the 5 ride of Nick Snyder down low. Unfortunately, it looks like his car just travels up the racetrack. Unfortunately, gets into that left rear quarter panel of the number 31 of Rob McDonald. That's going to get McDonald into the 42 of Kevin Winker. 68 ride ends up getting into the 5 machine as he's trying to get checked up here for Snyder. He's trying to roll out of the throttle. 68 ride can't jump into it quick enough. And then look at everybody scattered. Unfortunately for Kevin Winker, again, another super speedway race out in front, getting tied up in a big wreck and running into issues out there on the speedways. There we go. There's the contact. Trench, Brad Lane, Kyle Van Tassel gets some contact into it there. Snyder gets heavy damage. A lot of tore up race trucks here this evening, as that was a couple big hits out there on the racetrack, man, as everyone's just trying to scatter, trying to find their way through it, trying to give themselves an opening here. And look at the 42, almost going to airborne right there. That was very close to potentially having Kevin Winker back upside down here at Daytona International Speedway. You saw the 469 ride of Peterson ended up getting some damage there as well, but man, what a ride again for K-Dub, man. That is a wild ride for him. Unfortunate contact for Brad Lane as well, as he gets tied up into it. He gets tore up. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Kevin Winker as K-Dub down and out of corner number 2 here. He's just thinking, okay, it's going to be more of the same. Run some laps, try to win this stage, and all of a sudden, bam, gets hooked. Up the track, bounce it around, and then, oh, baby, almost goes upside down. But man, gets hit hard a bunch there, and that ends up with a lot of damage here for that number 42 machine. This he'll have to take it down pit road. He'll have to try to get some repairs for it. His driver's going to play some strategy here, and it looks like for Kevin Winker, looked like K-Dub did not come down pit road right there. So K-Dub's going to stay out. He wants stage points here. Even though he's got heavy damage on the 42, he's going to stick with it. Evan Golmat will come out in second. Robert Howard there in that third position. Cal Turbeville, Tyler Lemon, and Tim Blankenbeckler rounding out our top 6 here. And I do believe that Tim is going to be the last driver to potentially earn stage points here this evening. I'm not sure what Winker is thinking here, whether or not he comes down pit road. Maybe he just thinks, hey, you know what, might better make a green flag pit stop, earn the points that you can get right now by winning this stage, staying out, not coming down pit side. It opens up the door here for KW to still win this stage, which is absolutely wild for Evan Golmet. Great start to his season for Robert Howard, Cal Turbeville, newcomer Tyler Lemon there as well, and Tim Blankenbeckler, all earning some, much needed or much wanted stage points here early in this race. Is going to be very, very nice. As Night Mogul says, let's get it. Number 83, cheering on Dimitri Curtis here this evening. Dimitri's back there in that 8th position. Dimitri's looked very, very good here this evening. That beautiful Juke joint Friends for Pets ride, looking fierce out there on the speedway, man. We love that beautiful paint scheme, man. That is absolutely wicked looking ride out there on the racetrack. Is all right, 22 laps completed. Looks like that we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing for K-Dub. He's going to stick with this program. He's going to stick with this gamble. He's staying out. He's not coming down pit road. So for K-Dub, he's sticking with it here in this one. He'll stay out on the racetrack. He'll hope to try and earn the stage win here this evening, in which case he should be able to win it. He's the lead car coming to the completion of lap number 23 as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. So for Kevin Winker, for what looked to be potentially a bad break in, obviously getting that damage onto the Muhlenberger Custom Homes Chevy Silverado definitely is still going to set him back, but being able to win this stage could turn a very bad night into still a mediocre afternoon, knowing that you're at least able to get some decent points out there on the racetrack by trying to win the stage here in this feature event. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. As down the back straightaway, Evan Winker out in front, damage and all. He is not going to give up this stage win for Evan Golmet, man. His first race here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series for the 68. He comes home in position number 2 here in this stage. And then we see Robert Howard back in third, Cal Turbeville in fourth. The 29 ride of Tyler Lemon going to round out our top 5 with Tim Blankenbeckler. Our top 6 here, all earning stage points here this evening. As for Kevin Winker, he's the control truck. He gets to fire off first. He gets to lead us back down to the Genco restart zone, and here we go, back onto the throttle. Great launch, great start there for the 42 ride. He's looking to try to just keep this truck rolling, trying to keep himself in the hunt at the front. I'm not sure how much that damage will affect his chances or his car here this evening, but you got to imagine that that is a lot of aero loss, and he is going to be struggling out there on the speedway. You can already see it as here we go. Outside lane to the storm around him here. We do see a couple drivers jump down in front of his nose, as now out in front, newcomer here to the series, the 68 of Evan Golmet. As the race lead down the back straightaway, but it won't last for long as the Friends for Pets team hooked up here on the outside groove. The 4 of Tim Blankenbeckler, the number 83 Dimitri Curtis, in the 31 of Rob McDonald, all rolling that outside lane to perfection as they look to try and keep these drivers back there at bay. As here we go, we knew that trying to win that stage was going to be the game plan for K-Dub as Winker heads down pit side. Looks like Gordon Glidewell will join him here down pit road. Winker was able to win the stage, was able to put those points into his back pocket, but unfortunately now he's going to have to try and figure out how to get himself back into this race. He either needs a quick caution flag or hope that he can stay in that free pass position, try to earn the lucky dog here this evening to get himself back in the lead lap, because more than likely he will lose a lap here. It may not be instantly, it may be a little while, but unfortunately even still with that damage on there, man, for Kevin Winker, it's going to be tough for him to keep battling here on the evening, trying to keep that truck alive, trying to keep it out of trouble, and they're going to get past in a quick hurry here in this one, as, man, this is going to be a lot of fun. This is going to be very, very interesting when all these drivers kind of get rolling here back to their rear bumper, trying to jump back into the action, trying to jump back into the series. They've been off for a little while, so trying to figure out what you need to do, figure out kind of the way to kind of get your legs underneath of you again may be very, very tough. And now they do have one fast repair. It didn't look like K-Dub decided to use it up, so it looks like he is going to use that fast repair maybe a little later in this race, just trying to stick with it, knowing that this is still a very long race. We're already 25 laps in, about to be 26 laps completed, so about 33, almost 35% of this race now. Anyways, there you go, you see that 42 and that number 25, Ryan Gordon Glidewell, who went down pit road there with Kevin Winker. They're not too far away from our race leaders. They are virtually in the same corner as them right now. As there we go, there goes Winker in the 25, right down across the pit road exit there on corner number 2, and just right there behind him is our race leaders as Evan Goulmet continues to lead the way. Cal Turbeville right there on his back bumper as the 4 is Tim Blankenbeckler, and the Christopher Pentrides, unfortunately not a whole lot of help up there in that outside group. They haven't really gotten a great chance or a great opportunity here to try to jump up here and battle for the race lead over the last little bit as the outside dissipated. Everyone's kind of migrated their way back down to the inside. They know that there's a lot of racing left. Be patient, be cautious, make sure you don't make any big moves or wrong moves out there on the racetrack that could hurt your chances this evening. Here we go. You see the 25 right, unfortunately going a lap down, so does it Kevin Winker, as now Gordon Glidewell and Kevin Winker both find themselves one lap down out there on the speedway. And for the 25 ride, Gordon Glidewell. Gordon is in that lucky dog position, the free pass spot out there on the racetrack. So for the 25 ride, if he can catch a yellow flag, if he can catch a lucky break here, you know, midway through this race, potentially for the 25 ride, he can earn himself a ticket back on the lead lap. For Kevin Winker, even with that damage on the race truck, he's trying to hang with that 25 ride, knowing that if he can get back around Gordon, he could potentially put himself into that lucky dog position here this evening. As right now, they're the only two drivers that are down a lap out there on the speedway. Everyone else has been pretty decent here all evening long, just hitting their marks, not making too many mistakes. We only saw that one caution flag down the back straightaway there. Some slight contact, that bump draft, the pushing and shoving here at Daytona. It does not slow down. It does not get easier. It's only going to get tougher and tougher for all these drivers throughout the rest of tonight's feature event. As Evan Goulmet, the newcomer here to the series, continues to lead the way as the 68 down and across the line will click off another lap. So 29 laps completed here in this one. 29 laps left to do it days. This one's coming to the end in a quick hurry, man. Down to the nitty-gritty for all these drivers. They know it. They're going to have to make some changes. They're going to have to try to find another gear here. Now, luckily enough, they don't have to push it right now. They can probably wait another 30 laps or so, and especially in that time period, seeing potential green flag pit stops. And green flag pit stops here at Daytona can really break things open. It can really either work for yourself or it can work against yourself by coming down pit road early, by pitting a little bit later. And if you don't come down with a big group of cars, it really decimates your opportunities here on the evening, especially late in the race. So we stay clean and green. As you come down pit road by yourself, you're more than likely coming out of the pits by yourself, and we're going to see what that is going to get stuck into a loop where you're going to lose a lap no matter what it is. There's enough time, no caution flags. you're going to lose a spot out there. We saw the same thing happen there with the 42 of Kevin Winker and that 25 ride of Gordon Glidewell. As Glidewell still trying to hang on to that lucky dog position as there's contact. Trench in the 87 ride of Herbert get tied together. There it is. Yellow flag is displayed, and it's Gordon Glidewell who will put himself into the lucky dog position. But we saw Trench, looks like him and the number 87 ride gonna end up making some contact here. Let's take a look back at it and see if we can get a good look here from Trench's perspective. Man, Daytona really sucks with camera angles here, Chad. I apologize. Nothing much I can do about this one. So I do believe this is the first yellow. We don't need this one. There it is. All right. All right, here we go. So it looks like potentially the Frets for Pets group trying to go to that third lane, looking to maybe split the 68 ride, and they just kind of get bent out of shape right there. Kind of looks like a late call or a late move for the 10 or for the 4 ride of Tim Blankenbeckler as he goes up the track. The 83 going to join him here, and you see Rob McDonald thinking about it. He's deciding whether or not he wants to go up there with him. Unfortunately, before he can make that call, you see the 4 and the 83 both tag the Daytona logo there down the back straightaway. They end up making contact right there into the fence, and for the 83, bounces back up the racetrack. Trench can't get off the throttle quick enough. He ends up running into the back end of the 83, loses the nose, washes down into that 87 of John Herbert, and now Herbert just really nowhere for him to go. You look at the 31, he's turned sideways. They're both rolling down into corner number 3 to try to keep themselves out of trouble, and everyone's trying to avoid him here. Everyone trying to keep themselves out of any more damage or carnage out there on the racetrack. You see Kevin Winker already down the apron. Same with the 5 and the 1 machine. Unfortunately for Kyle Van Tassel, Van Tassel gets in there. It's a big piece there of John Herbert. That pushes him up into the fence, and then we see the Tech Warrior number 12 ride gets in there as well. Big hit there for Tim Felker, as Felker unfortunately tore up there as well. Let's see if we can jump on board here with this number 12 ride. He was a little farther back, so we had some pretty good time to try to get checked up. Unfortunately, it looks like he just couldn't really see what was happening, where the issues were, and all of a sudden, as he kind of heads back down into corner number 3, the 87 ride's going around, and then washes right back down the racetrack into his lap there, giving him some pretty solid contact and damage there as well. So some tough hits, some tough breaks out there on the speedway, and already a few tore up race cars. Take a look at John Herbert. Here comes Herbert in here. He's going to get tagged, turned around himself, and yeah, that's tough break there for the 87 ride, as well as Kevin Winker and all these other drivers that have ran into issues early on this evening. That's really going to mix things up, as some drivers going to elect to come down pit road, maybe make some changes, get some fuel. We did see a few drivers elect to stay out, including Tim Blankenbeckler and the 83 Dimitri Curtis. So looks like Curtis and Blankenbeckler are going to stay out there looking for a little bit of magic here later on in this race, and maybe try to save some tires for later in the show. But they're going to have to worry about that fuel gauge, wanting not to run out of fuel here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a couple more moments after a quick word from our sponsors over at Metamorphosis Machine LLC.
Vision. Planning. Possibility. At Metamorphosis Machine, we turn ideas into engineered reality. Whether you're working with plastics, composites, ferrous or non-ferrous metals, our capabilities and vast partner network ensure no project is too big, too small, or too complex. From concept to completion, your success starts here. Discover how Metamorphosis can elevate your machining needs today. Precision. Planning. Possibility. At Metamorphosis Machine, we turn ideas into engineered reality. Whether you're working with plastics, composites, ferrous or non-ferrous metals, our capabilities and vast partner network ensure no project is too big, too small, or too complex. From concept to completion, your success starts here. Discover how Metamorphosis can elevate your machining needs today. Precision. Planning.
Alrighty, as we're going to get them stacked up, racked up, ready to rumble here in this one. Once again, as out in front, the 4 ride, the Frets for Pets, the Juke joint number 4 machine. Continuing to lead the way here in this one as Night Moogle says, number 83, Curtis, cheering on Curtis here this evening, hoping for that 83 ride to try to find his way up and into victory lane as Tim Blankenbeckler. Tim out in front, has the race lead, looking to try to keep these drivers back there at base. Dimitri Curtis rolls there in position number 2. Cal Turboville in position number 3. He started at the back of the pack. He's up 19 positions, sitting there in that 3rd spot on the speedway. Evan Goulet to his outside in position number 4. Ryan Howard in the 29 of Tyler Lemon round out our top 6 with Brandon Ming and Jacob Grube in his Metamorphosis Machine LLC number 18 ride, rolling there in that 8th position. Ryan Howard in the Ridge Power Sports number 469 ride there in 9th, and Bobby Blair in the KR Gutters Ridge Power Sports number 75 rounds out our top 10 as a shout out there is our 2nd Ridge Power Sports caution flag here this evening. Comes out in this one, man, already halfway through this race, and these drivers have been putting on an absolutely amazing show for us, man. This has been a lot of fun, a lot of great racing, and it's so good to see the HCK Beagles drivers back in action. As a great restart right there for that number 4 ride of Tim Blankenbeckler. As Blankenbeckler out in front is Cal Turboville looking down to the inside. Hero Dimitri Curtis, that's a battle for position number 2. Looks like Dimitri was in the outside lane, but for the 4 ride of Tim Blankenbeckler, he stays down low here, stays in front of that 64. Thought he would definitely try to work with his teammate there, trying to get in front of that 83, trying to control that outside lane. But as of right now, they kind of control both lanes out there on the racetrack. Is look out, Robert Howard watching up there a little bit. Oh, the 68 ride, luckily enough, saw it, made sure he got up, gave him room, made sure that there was no major contact there again at the front of the field as they continue to battle. Now we see the 68 gets in behind the 50, Ryan the 50 getting a little bit squirrely there again, luckily enough. Able to catch it, able to hang on to it, but as of right now, no help to the back bumper of that 83 Dimitri Curtis. Dimitri kind of the odd man out here, the lone goose rolling outside lane, and he makes dropping like a fly out there on the racetrack as he'll be looking to try to keep on battling. We'll see if he can find a hole, if he can jump in front of one of these drivers, and there it is. He does find a gap, and he's able to slide in between the 68 of Evan Goulet and that 29 of Tyler Lemon. So luckily enough for Dimitri Curtis, doesn't get shuffled all the way to the back of the pack here. Ready to make rolling there in that 7th position. We see Ryan Peterson, Jacob Grube, and Jason LePan rounding out our top 10 out there on the speedway. It's Chris Gilbert back in 11th, Brad Lane there in 12th, Kyle Wiggins in position number 13. Nicholas Snyder back in 14th with King Doug Kevin Winker rolling there in that 5th position. Ron McDonald out there, he is back in the 16th spot with him. Felker, John Herbert, Bobby Blair, Kyle Van Tassel, the 19 of Ed Koshersberger, and the 25 ride, I believe, of Mr. Gordon Glidewell. Looks like Glidewell unfortunately did get a little piece of that yellow flag. Looks like iRacing did not give him the free pass, did not give him the lucky dog. They end up giving the lucky dog there to Kevin Winker, so it gets K-Dub back on the lead lap. Great break for an early race leader here. We'll have to wait and see if Kevin can try to race his way back up towards the front of the field as Tim Blankenbeckler continues to lead the way. It's Frets for Pets here at the front of the field again this season as Tim continues to lead. Cal Turboville looking determined here this evening as the 64 ride rolls in position number 2. He started the back of the pack here, back in that 22nd position, and even to be up inside the top 10, top 5, really duking it out here early in this race is just showing you how strong that Klondike machine is going to be here this year. As you see the outside group trying to get rolling here again. They're trying to get something brewing in that outside lane as here comes the 45 ride That is the 45 of Chris Gilbert, the 1 of Brad Lane, the 14 of Kyle Wiggins, who's been back in the rear of the field for most of this race, the 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder trying to get himself back into the battle, and it looks like the 87 of John Herbert's going to edge along here with him. He's going to jump in line behind that 4-car battle and see if he can work himself a little closer to the front of the field once again. Looks like he will bow out of it, jumps down to the inside lane in behind Trench as Mr. Dimitri Curtis and the 31 of Rob McDonald right there in front of that 87 ride of Mr. Herbert out there on the speedway. We'll have to wait and see if we can see maybe Rob or Dimitri work their way, navigate their way back up towards the front of the field, as I know both these drivers would love to try to get hooked up here with their teammate Tim Blankenbeckler as Tim continues to lead the way. But as of right now, there's just really not any room to go. They really don't have a spot that they can try to jump into, make some big moves, and hope to try to separate themselves here and join their teammate in front of this field once again. Down the back straight away, nice and easy. And a storm roll down into corner number 3 here this evening as Tim, nice and easy, down into corner number 3 here. Another great run here by these drivers. Another good solid effort here. We saw obviously the caution flag around lap number 19, lap 20 there for our first, Ridge Power Sports yellow flag of the evening. Our second yellow flag came out right around lap number 31, lap number 30, where we saw pretty much everybody come down pit road there on lap 32, except for Tim Blankenbeckler. Tim stayed out, and so didn't that number 83 Dimitri Curtis, and unfortunately for both of those drivers, potential pit stops on the horizon could start to present themselves here later in this race, and having to come down too early could definitely cost you valuable time trying to learn, how to put yourself into the situations. You just want to keep yourself nice and easy and out of trouble here this evening as Tim Blankenbeckler out in front. It's Cal Turbeville sitting right there with them, man. Cal has just been battling his way to the front. This car has looked very strong right from the get-go, but for this 64, man, great view, great spot to be. He's behind Blankenbeckler and just continuing to roll some good laps here. We kind of saw the same thing, same strategy kind of being played out there between the 5 of Nicholas Snyder and the 42 of Kevin Winker. You kind of get behind somebody that you can trust, somebody that you're comfortable kind of pushing and just trying to hold on to this race lead. It could open up a window here for you, especially later in the race. Be able to make that move down to the inside or to the outside, or try to make something happen where you can maybe jump up and take this race win away from that number 4 ride. So sit back here in second, saving some fuel, saving some of your equipment here for later in this race is always a good place to be out there on the racetrack, as you do see that 45 ride steamroll on the outside, but the caution flag will come back out. So our third Ridge Power Sports yellow flag of the day will be displayed here in this one. Let's take a look back and see what happened. As it looked like potentially some drivers were, oh, no, there we go. Okay, so we're going to see same scenario again. Are we in the same spot? Is this the same caution flag here? It's almost like we've been here before. We almost have deja vu, if I'm not wrong. Look like potentially John Herbert and Rob McDonald going to get tied together here. Rob's rolling the outside lane. The 87's down low, and it looks like Rob just shoots down to the inside here. I'm not sure if the truck just gets loose down on corner exit. Nonetheless, for Trench, just watch this truck right here. Bam, just pulls hard to the left here. Unfortunately, gets into the 87 of John Herbert. Nowhere for John to go. That's going to wash him up the speedway, up into the outside fence. Pretty solid front end damage there for both him and for that 31 of Rob McDonald as well. So he ends up with some pretty good damage, not only from the contact between the two cars, but also off the contact, getting into the outside fence right there as well. Let's see if we can get another look here. Rob McDonald's been kind of going through it here in this one. Let's see if we can jump on board here with McDonald as he comes down and out of corner number 4. Trying to carry the speed and momentum, and it just looks like the car keeps pulling there for a couple seconds after a corner exit. Unfortunately, it pulls right down the speedway into that unfortunate 87 ride, and man, that's some pretty solid contact, pretty solid damage right there. Tore up race cars. Never a fun night, and unfortunately for the press for Pets of the Juke joint ride, kind of right in the middle of that one, getting tore up with some major damage. Same with John Herbert, and you do see the 469 right here. I was kind of wondering what was going on with that one. So it looked like a lot of drivers that were trying to avoid this initial hit, this initial contact. It looked like potentially Ryan Peterson trying to avoid it here. Looks like some contact between Jacob Grube, and I do believe that is the 25 ride, I want to say. Let me double check here. So if you watch Grube here, he's going to end up getting hit from behind. It is the 20 ride of Jason LePan, his teammate. So for the Tech Warrior rides, they're a little deeper in the field here. They just kind of get log jammed, and fortunately for LePan, he ends up getting into his teammate here pretty solidly. He ends up getting into the back end of Jacob Grube, and that's what kind of gets Grube turned around sideways here, where he's going to end up clipping this 469 ride. And unfortunately for Ryan Peterson, that's just going to take him around. He goes for a slide down through the grass. So does the 18 ride, but for Ryan Peterson, goes backwards, back up the racetrack, and unfortunately bounces it right into the lap there of the 31 that kind of got things started there for that third caution flag. And then you're going to see the 25 ride of Gordon Glidewell also get some contact into that as well, as Glidewell ends up just getting in there. Not really egregious contact or damage, and I do believe he was in line for the lucky dog here in that number 25 ride. Let's take a look back, as they were quite a ways away from it. It looked like he definitely was going to have time to try to get checked up, try to avoid it. They can see the yellow flag is out. He blinks a little bit here and then reappears on the racetrack. There he is. He kind of reappears, and as he does, 469 rides right there on his lap. So I'm not sure if it was the blinkiness that took him out of this race potentially, or just that contact, some issues that may have sent him back. But nonetheless, we're going to get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as we did see pretty much, yeah, everyone came down pit road right there. Nobody did not come down pit side. We do see a few other drivers still down pit road, including Jason LePan. We do see, that's Tim Felker coming back out. Here's the 18 of Jacob Grube and Koshersberger. He's down pit road. Rob McDonald trying to get his car fixed up and back into the battle here this evening, as well as we do see the 25 back out there, back into this race. So for the 25 ride, he does find himself, though, unfortunately, still one lap down for Kevin Winker. Winker at the tail end of the lead lap here. So he's on the lead lap, but he's at the back of the pack. We'll see if K-Dub can try to work his way back up towards the front of the field, as it does look like the crew has went to work, got that truck pretty fixed up here, and he is ready to get right back into the action here this evening after serving some of that damage and getting some damage during our first caution flag of the day for the 42. Can Winker race his way back up towards the front of the field, as the 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder, one of our runners-up in the championship battle last season, now out in front leading this race, as Cal Turbeville to his outside, the 50 of Robert Howard on his back bumper. Evan Gourmet there in 4th, with the 29 of Tyler Lemon rounding out our top 5. Tim Blankenbeckler back there in 6th, with Chris Gilbert, Brandon Deming, Kyle Van Tassel, Bobby Blair, our top 10 out there on the speedway. Dimitri Curtis and Ryan Peterson bring up row number 6. Kyle Wiggins, Brad Lane, Jason LePan, Tim Felker, Jacob Grube, Ed Koshersberger, John Herbert, and Kevin Winkler are top 1 entered on the speedway. Gordon Glidewell back in 21st, and Rob McDonald, unfortunately, still down pit road for Trench here this evening, as Trench finds himself down pit side. As here we go, back to green flag racing, and instantly we're right back into this door-to-door battle. We're right back into duking it out here in this one. Is 45 laps completed. It is already 30 laps left to go here in tonight's feature event. So the laps are getting clicked down in a quick hurry here this evening, as the 64 of Cal Turbeville continues The battle here with Nick Snyder for the race lead is nice and easy. Down and out of corner number 4, we will see the yellow flag be displayed once again. So the caution flag will come right back out as yellows, breeding yellows here at Daytona International Speedways. This time looks like potentially Bobby Blair going to get tied up in this one. Keep an eye on the 75 right here. Bobby Blair. Oh, looks like his wheel turned off or something. Oh, no. This is a heartbreaker here for Bobby Blair, for Gordon Glidewell, who's trying to get back into the battle. Jason LePan here as well. Watch the 75. Watch those tires right there. You see them just turn instantly to the left here. That is a wheel disconnection here. That is a fault of whether, I don't know if it just got unplugged or if it disconnected, but unfortunately it looks like the wheel just disconnects. It pulls the wheel hard to the left. He's got the binders on, trying to get checked up. Unfortunately, at 180 miles an hour, it's hard to do, and you see why, as here comes the 25, the 20, the 18 of LePan gets damaged. The 12 ride looks like he's going to get in there as well for Tim Felker. So Felker is going to get some damage there. You see Winker just trying to slice and dice his way through it. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of luck right there for him, as some big hits down through 3 and 4 once again. Let's take another look at it. See kind of what happens here is a lot of these drivers just really not a whole lot they could do. You watch the 75, check up that much, and then everyone else battles into it. You see the 87, Herbert, get some damage, bouncing around, hard contact into the fence there himself for Jason LePan, and a bunch of tore up race cars. Looks like LePan has taken his car right down pit road and potentially down pit side here for a little while. Ryan Peterson also has the damage clock here on his car. He's getting the damage flag, so he's going to have to try to take that thing down pit road, try to get it fixed up here. Obviously something catastrophic under the hood, as it doesn't look like too much damage as cosmetics. Maybe the left front a little tore up here on this number 469 ride. That's exactly where it is. Looks like that left front, unfortunately, pretty tore up, pretty chewed up here. It's kind of missing that left front fender, and unfortunately, the crew's going to have to try to go to work, try to get that replaced, and try to get that car back out there onto the speedway. As definitely can't race. It definitely won't go very well if you're missing a left front fender right there on the speedway. So we'll have to wait and see if the crew can get them fixed up and back out there in a quick hurry, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll once again. As Bobby Blair, he's going to be able to roll back out here. Heartbreaker there for Bobby Blair. I'm sure he's going to feel awful about that one. That's never a fun time running into an issue like that, and especially when some of your teammates or good friends or racing buddies here on a Tuesday night get collected, and just a mishap out there on the speedways. We did see Snyder comes down pit road here. We did see looked like Chris Gilbert, Kyle Van Tassel, Brandon Domingue, Bobby Blair all coming down pit road. K-Dub, Kevin Winker also came back down pit side. Jacob Grube down pit road, as well as Tim Felker. As Felker looking to get that Tech Warrior ride fixed back up, back into 100% and back out there on the speedway for John Herbert. Herbert still down pit road, still trying to get his Ridge Power Sports KR Gunners 87 ride rolling again here this evening for Ryan Peterson. He's parked down there with some extreme damage. Ed Koshersberger also still down pit road. We'll see if he jumps back out on the racetrack for Gordon Glidewell. He sticks with it for Jason LePan. He's down pit road for what looks to be potentially an extended period of time here. As Rob McDonald, Trench able to get back out there. Unfortunately for Trench, I do believe he is now at least 4 laps down there. Unfortunately, had to stay down pit side an extended period of time to get that car or truck repaired. And unfortunately for the 31, a few laps down here this evening. As here we go, we are going to see more drivers navigate their way back down pit side here. Here comes Nicholas Snyder. Here comes Brad Lane, Chris Gilbert, Kyle Van Tassel, Brandon Ming, and Bobby Blair all coming back down pit road. Here comes Jacob Grube and Tim Felker also back down pit side. So some more drivers making these pit stops, trying to work themselves into what could be a fuel strategy run here if we stay clean and green for where we go back to green flag racing. I do believe it's going to be a 26 lap run. Now, if we do 26 laps of green flag racing action without a yellow flag or anything here to finish off this race, Field could definitely be very, very tight for a lot of these other drivers, and for a lot of these cats that did not come down pit road. I don't know if they're going to have enough. They may still have to make a green flag pit stop if that is the case, so we'll have to see how this one plays out, see how this one finishes off, because it's going to be an exciting one here as Season 8 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series, powered by Metamorphosis Machine LLC, here this evening as we get ready. The Slice and Dice, we get ready to go back to battle here. It'll be 26 laps left to go here this evening. And as we go back to green flag racing, we are going to jump into our Peacemaker gaming. Crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we go back to battle here this evening from Daytona International Speedway, we want you guys to jump into the comments section, cheer on your favorite drivers, let us know who you want to see up in victory lane. Make sure you crank up that volume, enjoy the sights and sounds of these NASCAR trucks here at Daytona International Speedway here this evening as the drivers get ready to rumble. They get ready to go battle to duking it out here once again this evening. As here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank it up and cheer these drivers on as here we go, duking it out again at Daytona. a beautiful crank it up session right there as these drivers give us the sights and sounds around the beautiful Daytona International Speedway. Here this evening is out in front leading this race. It is the oh, look out. Actually, we start to see some drivers come down pit road here, but it is the 68 ride of Evan Gourmet who continues to lead this race. As here comes the Frets for Pets rides. Here comes the Juke Joint Machines as it is Tim Blankenbeckler who heads down pit road now. We do see the 83 Dimitri Curtis also down pit side. Here comes the 31 Rob McDonald. He's going to go with his teammates down pit road. We already saw one wave of drivers come down pit side, make green flag pit stops here this evening. Back on lap number 55, Bobby Blair, Brandon Ming, John Herbert all came down pit road. We did see Kyle Van Tassel also down pit side with these guys on lap 55. Now Brad Lane, I do believe Lane came down pit road potentially by himself here in for the number 1 ride. I do believe he is a lap down and he's back in about the 19th position right now. Definitely not the spot that Brad Lane wanted to be here this evening. As Bruce, how are you, Bruce? Bruce, Mr. Tower Operator in the chat as well, says hashtag Winker Nation cheered on K-Dub here this evening. So here we go, another wave of drivers making their way down pit side. The 68 of Evan Gourmet. It looks like Gourmet makes a big mistake here. Our race leader heads down into his pit stall. It unfortunately looks like he overshoots it here. This few seconds of missing his pit box right there, that may have cost him a bunch of time. That may have cost him an opportunity to try and maybe even win this race. As here we go, he rolls out of pit lane. He is not tight together with Robert Howard or Cal Turbeville, who came down pit road with him. They need to get grouped together in a quick hurry and hope to not lose any more time here to the lead pack, as a lot of the drivers in the lead pack probably still have to come back down pit road. As right now it is Kevin Winker out in front leading the way here with 25 ride. That is Gordon Glidewell. He's trying to keep himself in front of that 42 ride, trying to keep himself in front of the field, making sure that he is going to be either in the lucky dog position, or if we see a caution flag, could race his way back on lead lap and still give the lucky dog here potentially to Dimitri Curtis, as Dimitri just lost a lap himself in that 83 ride. Unfortunately, when you come down pit road, you got to get together with your teammates. You got to get grouped up, and you got to make sure that you make a perfect pit stop out there on the racetrack and not have any issues. If you come out of the pits and you're by yourself, unfortunately, you can lose so much time, so much action, and unfortunately, they can really cost you an opportunity. You look back at the 68 ride, luckily enough, now kind of joined together here. They've kind of gotten bound together with another group of cars a little deeper in the field here. You do see Bobby Blair, the 77 of Brandon Ming. Yeah, I do believe that is Cal Turbeville and Robert Howard right there as well. They're trying to get followed up into this group. Tim Blankenbeckler with the 31 of Mr. Trench right there as well. The 13 of Kyle Van Tassel, the 1 ride of Brad Lane. They're all in this fight here. They're all in this second group. Look out, Trench trying to hang on to it. Oh man, he almost went around right there. That would have been a tough break there for him. Here we go. We do see our lead pack coming down pit road, being led down pit side by Kevin Winker. So K-Dub, Nicholas Snyder, Tyler Lemon, Jacob Grube, Kyle Wiggins, and Chris Gilbert all come down pit side together here. So they're all going to pit. They're all going to try to get down pit road together, trying to make sure that they get enough fuel into their rides. A lot of these drivers, a bunch of them came back down pit road there on lap 47, lap 48. I thought maybe they'd be close enough to make it on fuel, but it looks like they're just going to try to use that to their advantage, having a quicker pit stop right here. And for that 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder, it does give him the race lead coming out of the pits, as Tim Felker and Ed Koschersberger still yet to potentially make their final pit stop here of the day. If they do need fuel, they are going to have to come down pit road. And here we go. We see the 12 ride of Tim Felker. Felker is going to come down pit side. Here comes his teammate, the 19 of Ed Koschersberger. They're hoping that they can get down pit road, get their pit stops in, and hopefully try to get lined up here with everybody else. Is down and across the line for that 12 ride. He will lead lap number 64 here this evening. So 64 laps are completed, and right now this could be the battle for the race lead. Nicholas Snyder, Kevin Winker, nose to tail out there on the speedway. You throw in last season's champion, the 18 of Jacob Grew. We knew he would be here towards the end. He always finds his way up there, and he's looking to start this year off on the same note as he did finishing last season, and that is potentially out in front. Tyler Lemon right there in the 29 right. You see Chris Gilbert and Kyle Wiggins. Then you see the 25 who overlapped down there. That is Gordon Glidewell back in that 25 ride, kind of in the middle of this pack. And then we start to see this second group starting to reel them in, starting to work his way up and into the battle. As Cheryl says, let's go, Rob Howard. Cheered on Rob here this evening. Says Dale Earnhardt says it best. The winner ain't the one with the fastest car. It's the one who refuses to lose. I love that. I love that, Cheryl. That is absolutely amazing. Words of encouragement for all these drivers. Anyone that thought maybe they were down and out didn't have an opportunity to win this race. It is not over until it is over. If you're at Daytona International Speedway, anything is possible. Anything can happen in a quick hurry. We've seen races. We've seen late race restarts. We've seen big wrecks down at the line, and a driver come from virtually, 10, 15 cars back, end up in victory lane when they had no point being there. All of a sudden, they're just able to work themselves through the mayhem in the tri-oval and find their way into the winner's circle. So it's still anybody's race to win or to lose here this evening, as right now it is Nicholas Snyder out in front as he continues to get a big push here from Kevin Winker. K-Dub just sticking glued right to his back bumper is down across the line. They'll click off lap 66. That means we'll get 9 more laps left to duke it out here in our season opener for the Metamorphosis Truck Series, powered by the HCK Beagles here this season, as season 8 starts off right here, right now. And for each and every one of these drivers to get off on a good foot here, to put yourself into a good position, to have a good run, maybe even just get a strong finish here this evening. A top 10 could build a ton of momentum, a ton of positivity going into the rest of the season. So for each and every one of them, they're looking to just finish strong here this evening. We do see pretty much everyone kind of get lined back up here. There was a few drivers throughout that pit cycle that ended up on the wrong side of things here. You look back at Ed Koshersberger, the 12 of Tim Felker, the 87 of John Herbert, the 83 of Dimitri Curtis. Unfortunately, not the best pit stops for them. They end up kind of the odd man out, and unfortunately, they don't have the lead draft. They are kind of just running about 5 seconds slower, 4 or 5 seconds slower than that lead pack for Gordon Glidewell. Needs another yellow flag, needs an opportunity for him to get back into the battle here. He just cannot be the caution flag, but if he can get back into it with a yellow, could get the lucky dog back on the lead lap here this evening. You see Brad Lane there as well. Brad currently right now battling with that 25 ride for the lucky dog position, trying to keep himself in that free pass spot out there on the speedway. Same with Kyle Van Tassel. Van Tassel also looking for that lucky dog, trying to get himself back into the hunt at the front here is Rob McDonald. Unfortunately, about 3-4 laps down here for Rob McDonald. That is a tough spot to be, but for the 31, he's trying to help his Friends for Pets Juke joint teammates work their way up and into victory lane here this evening, as Ryan Peterson still down pit road, and so isn't Jason LePan. Unfortunately for that Warrior Racing ride, the 20 of LePan stuck down pit road since lap 46, lap 47 for Ryan Peterson. Looks like that may be where they finish here this evening, as out in front. Nicholas Snyder gonna click another one off, and that will complete our favorite lap of the day. Lap 69 off the board here in Daytona. So 69 laps completed in 6 laps left to go. Who will get it done? Who will find victory lane here in our season opener? Jump into the comment section right now and let us know, ladies and gentlemen, who you want to see win this race. Are you a Snyder fan? What about all the Winker Nation fans in the stands? Do you want to see K-Dub back up in victory lane? Here comes that 45 of Chris Gilbert. He's got the frets for bets. Number 4 of Tim Blankenbeck. We're right there with him. Can Timmy find his way into the top spot? Could we see a newcomer to the series, Kyle Wiggins, in the Waffle House 14 ride, potentially find his way into the top spot? Here is only 5 laps left to go. 5 laps to settle this one out, unless we see potentially a late race caution flag where we could see NASCAR overtime here this evening. So we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. These guys, for the most part, keep it clean. They keep it green, but anything can happen in a late race caution. A late race wreck could really change the entire formation of this field and the outcome of this race entirely here this evening. As we see Kyle Wiggins still battling here down low. He's got last season's champion Jacob Groove right there on his back bumper. A few lap cars all around him here as you do see Cal Turbeville trying to get that third line rolling. He's trying to navigate his way to the front. He's got the 50 rider Robert Howard right there with him as he's trying to get that third groove steam rolling to the front of the field here. Some great runs, some great drives here for those guys, and they got the 68 of Evan Gilmet right there with them, trying to help push that third lane up towards the front of this field. But it is just strong battles out there on the racetrack and showing some muscle here at the front of the field. It's still Nicholas Snyder who leads the way with the 42 of Winker right on his back bumper. But here we go. Outside lane down into corner number 3. Gets a great run in for the 45 of Chris Gilbert. He now pulls up door to door with that 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder. Is down across the line. They will complete lap number 62, but there we go. Caution flag will be displayed. Yellow flag will come out as we saw Cal Turbeville and a few other drivers get collected and go around here. Caution flag here in this one. Let's take a look back, see what happens. We saw that 64 ride almost go airborne right there. That was a very, very close call for him. Let's see, maybe just big moves here. Looks like the 50 ride of Howard. Robert trying to get to the middle here. Takes a good run, and looks like he just comes down too far. Not sure if he got a bump from the 68. Doesn't really look like it, so I'm not sure if he just gets loose. But right here, shoots down the racetrack, ends up into that right rear quarter panel. The 18 ride of Jacob Groove, last season's champion. That hooks him up and into the 64 ride, puts Groove into the outside fence. Look at the 64. Luckily enough, that thing stays on all 4 tires. Keeps on rolling out there as the 25 and the 68 makes some contact down on the apron. But for Cal Turbeville ends up pretty solid damage there into the outside fence. Pretty heavy hit here for Jacob Groove as well as Groove obviously into the outside fence, and it looks like not only contact with the wall, but also contact with the 68 and the 1 right of Brad Lane as Lane nowhere to go. He ends up driving in here. Actually looks like Lane gets checked up enough to avoid contact there with that 18 ride, but he does scrape the outside fence. That is a tough break there for Brad Lane. Let's take a look on board here with this number 1 ride as he's really got nowhere to go, but somehow or another keeps himself out of it, keeps himself out of this carnage. Here we go. All of a sudden, bam, right there. Car's starting to go around in front of him. He's checked up, does scrape the outside fence, but luckily enough, no contact into that 18 ride, able to still keep on rolling here. He's going to look to try to get some repairs done to that 1 ride as he's taking his car down pit road, trying to get it fixed up, trying to get it back out there onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, iRacing just doesn't have a camera angle of this car down pit road. That is the stupidest thing, man. iRacing needs to fix those camera angles down there, man. As we do see John Herbert also back down pit side. Jacob Groove down pit road trying to get his truck repaired. Tim Felker down there, as well as Ed Koschersberger. And for a bunch of these drivers that unfortunately were potentially about to go a lap down, when you look at drivers like Dimitri Curtis, you look back at Tim Felker himself, John Herbert, Ed Koschersberger, some of these guys that were on the risky side of potentially losing a lap and being out of this race. They are right there in the hunt here at the front and now back with the lead group. So they get another life here this evening, as I do believe Kyle Van Tassel is going to get the lucky dog. So Kyle gets back on the lead lap for Gordon Glidewell. Unfortunately, no lucky dog for him, got tied up in that yellow flag. Same with the one ride of Brad Lane. So iRacing gives the free pass there to the 13. And for Kyle Van Tassel, he'll get to keep on battling here with that Ridge Power Sports KR Gunners Amsoil number 13 ride, trying to put himself up and into a better position here this evening, and maybe even potentially a solid top 5 run, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing, as we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Metamorphosis Machine LLC.
Vision. Planning. Possibility. At Metamorphosis Machine, we turn ideas into engineered reality. Whether you're working with plastics, composites, ferrous or non-ferrous metals, our capabilities and vast partner network ensure no project is too big, too small, or too complex. From concept to completion, your success starts here. Discover how Metamorphosis can elevate your machining needs today.
Legends winning tires bite the ground. Beagles trucks where legends are crowned. Metamorphosis name burning in the night. Lights flash, speed clash, we're taking flight. Racing thunder, terror in the air. Beagles trucks where beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. Rafting close to the windshield blade. Adrenaline rush fills a fire grenade. Roaring past the clouds, will let you roar. Every lap, every turn, craving more. Push the pedal down, nothing left to lose. Victory's a choice, and this is what we choose. Racing thunder, terror in the air. Beagles trucks where beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. No time to spare. Push the pedal down, nothing left to lose. Victory's a choice, and this is what we choose. Racing thunder, terror in the air. Beagles trucks where beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here we go, back to Green Flag Racing here this evening for what could be our final restart of the day, as our first attempt at NASCAR overtime here on the season in our season opener from Daytona International Speedway. As the 5 ride of Nicholas Snyder out in front, he's looking to keep it that way as he wants to try and put this Snyder Bees racing ride up and into victory lane here for our season opener. But he's got K-Dub, Kevin Winker, right there behind. We know Winker, he's usually making some moves. He wants to make some grooves, and he wants to try to put this Muleburger Custom Homes ride back up into victory lane here to start this season. As Kyle Wiggins, newcomer to the series, rolls there in position number 3. You see the 50 right Howard right there. And we do see that outside lane starting to pick up some ground. Here comes Chris Gilbert. The 4 ride of Tim Blankenbeckler right on his back bumper is down and across the line. We will see the white flag fly. So the next flag will end this race no matter what. This is it. Down to the nitty-gritty. Who can make the move? Who can put themselves into the winning position to try and pick up the dub here this evening from Daytona? As here we go, big moves out of the back straightaway, contact, around goes the 4 ride. As unfortunately for the Friends for Pets number 4, that is a tough one for Tim Blankenbeckler. The 68 of Evan Gourmet tied up in it as well. But here we go, more contact as it's Winker who's now out in front. It's Robert Howard right on his back bumper as they're wrecking, they're flipping down and out of corner number 4. It's a drag race back down to the line. Who is gonna get it down and across the line? I think it's Robert Howard who picks up the dub here this evening. The Howard number 50 ride ends up in victory lane here in our season opener as K-Dub comes home in second, and it's Cal Turboville there in third. Tyler Lemon and Brandon Amang going to round out our top 5. We'll have to take a look back at this one because there was a lot of action. Take a look right here. There's cars upside down in the catch fence going for a wild ride here on the final lap as there was a lot of action here, and it starts all the way back here on the back straightaway. Coming out of corner number 2, and it's Tim Blankenbackler. Looks like Blankenbackler here just kind of gets up the track a little bit maybe. Trying to find a groove to the outside of this 45 ride, and we're going to watch Tim. Gets up a little high, 29 ride, shoots down to the inside. As Tyler Lemon does shoot to the inside of the 4 ride. I don't think Tim realized that he was already down there and that he wasn't clear. They're going to end up making contact, and we're going to watch the 4 ride come down across the nose of the 29, bounces into Evan Goulet out there on the speedway. Tough break for both of those drivers, but then later on, we're going to see some craziness here as all these other drivers start to roll down into row number 3 and 4. It's 3 wide here. K-Dub makes the move down to the inside of Nicholas Snyder here. So Snyder trying to stay out in front. Oh, we went a little too far forward right there. So Snyder trying to keep Winker back at bay. We knew K-Dub was going to make a move. We knew Winker was going to try to make something happen. Down the back straightaway, you see the 14 ride make the move to the outside. Winker ends up staying down to the inside right here. The 14, there's the 50, jumps in behind Kevin Winker. That puts them 3 wide here at the front of the field. And as they're 3 wide, things back behind them start to get a little bit crazy out there on the speedway. And it starts with this 83, I think, right here. So things are moving around. Drivers getting tied together, and it looks like they just run out of room here. Just tight racing, and it looks like for the 83 ride, he's going to get just underneath the 75 right here as the 18 gets into him. He gets up into the 75. They all start bouncing around. You see the 83 up into the outside fence. You're going to see the 20 and 25 get tied together, and for a bunch of these drivers deeper in the pack, all of a sudden they got nowhere to go, and then they are just going to pile up and into the corner 4 fence here. Look at the 25 ride up on into the air. The 20 of LePan, he's up into the catch fence, man. Some big hits here for a lot of these drivers as you see some big hits, a lot of tore up race trucks, and then we still got a battle back down to the start-finish line, and it's Robert Howard who was able to work his way into second, makes the move to the outside. Cal Turboville in the 50 ride have been working together here tonight, and right at the right time, the right drive, and he's able to get the jump, and ends up beating K-Dub back down across the line here. We'll have to double-check it with the iRacing results, and yes, it is by 0.019 seconds. Robert Howard finds himself into victory lane here this evening. See if we get another look at another angle potentially here of this finish. As here we go down and across the line. It is a very tight one, but that's it right there. You can virtually see it as front nose already across the line for the 50 of Robert Howard as he finds his way into victory lane. He'll get ready to celebrate. He'll get ready to party hard here this evening. Let's see if we can pull in this number 50 machine. See if we can get him out there on the racetrack to maybe catch a little celebration here. Let's play this forward, see if we can find a little bit of a celebration point here for Robert Howard. Is this going to be a big win for him? And we'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews, man. Is what a run, what a drive here for this 50 machine. Drivers coming to congratulate him, show him some love here this evening. And now here we go. We're going to get to see this 50 ride celebrate here this evening after picking up the dub here at Daytona International Speedway, man. What a run and what a drive there for Robert Howard as he picks up the win here this evening. And we'll get ready to pull him up and in to the broadcast booth here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for Robert Howard. Hey, Robert, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yep. How you doing, Aaron?
Not too bad, Robert, man. What a run. What a drive. Take us back through this one. As the 50 ride looked really strong all evening long. And then all of a sudden there at the end, we get that green-white checkered. You're able to try to get lined up here with some new drivers, some other drivers, and trying to find a lane, trying to find a groove here. And on the final lap, you're able to just find the right places, the right positions, and you end up working yourself here to the back bumper of Kevin Winker, and down through that tri-oval, you pull the trigger. The 64 ride of Turboville goes with you, and he pushes you across the line in P1 as you're able to win our season opener here this evening at Daytona International Speedway, man. Take us through it and what's going through your mind right now as you get to celebrate down in Victory Lane.
Yeah, I'm just so excited to get a first HCK win, and I think we had a really strong day altogether. Me and my teammates, HCG Motorsports, we were just up front all day, and then that last green flag pit cycle, we had to work our way back through, and then we got the green-white checkered, and that last lap was just madness. And I'm so glad Kale was able to find me there in the end to push me across. It would have been really close if I hung out there alone with him, but yeah, it was just a great race. We were had a great day, and just we were able to find each other early and stay together for most of it, so it worked out really well.
Yeah, absolutely worked out perfectly for you, as we saw obviously yourself and Cal having some great runs. We saw him throughout the evening up there inside the top 5. We saw you up there as well. It seemed to be a very strong performance for you two. It seemed like maybe through that green flag pit cycle, you guys lost a little bit of a step there, maybe some issues during those pit stops, but you know, that late race yellow flag and everything else just brought this car back to life, gave you a whole new opportunity to try to find victory lane, and man, you made it count as you're able to pull off an exciting one here as there was carnage all back behind you, and you're able to pull out in front and beat Kevin Winker, one of the probably best drivers here on super speedways in the series.
Yeah, I'm just really thankful for all my sponsors, Howard Orthotics and Prosthetics and Innovative Physical Therapy, and especially my teammates. Yeah, that last green flag cycle there, Evan stood through his box, and we lost him there for a little bit. We were able to catch back up with him. And of course, we had the green-white checker, and we were able to find each other again. But yeah, what a race. It was awesome. And what a finish.
Absolutely. What a finish, what a performance, and what a way to start this season, Robert. Congrats on the win here tonight, man. We can't wait to see what you got in store for us here throughout the rest of the season. Many more trips, hopefully, here into the broadcast booth for you here in Season 8 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series. Congrats on the win here in this one, brother. We can't wait to see you back in action next Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Talk to you soon, hopefully.
Absolutely, brother. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Robert Howard, as Howard picks up the dub, as Night Moogle says, GG's in the chat right there for that 50 rider, Robert Howard, man. GG's in the chat for him, man. What a great race, great game there for that 50 ride, as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher here, man. It was a pretty strong run for him all evening long, and it's K-Dub, Kevin Winker, who finds himself in position number 2 here this evening. Let's see if we can get Winker up here into the broadcast for his post-race interview here in this one, as Night Moogle says, great announcing and great driving. Thanks for the race. Absolutely. It's always our pleasure. If you guys haven't already as well, if you guys are tuning in, make sure you guys do us a favor right now. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Hit the like button on the stream and drop a couple comments. It helps push the stream out a ton here to new and more viewers here to help continue to grow the channel here. And honestly, we used to do multi-streaming as well. We used to do Facebook and Twitch at the same time as YouTube. Unfortunately, with the 3 different networks, we really had to tone down our quality of the broadcast, as in we had to tone down the bit rate, which basically allows us to upload at a certain speed. So the quality was really dropped down because of Facebook and stuff. So we've kind of moved over to YouTube now. We may stay with just being on YouTube only. We'll have to wait and see in the future if we will extend that and maybe go back to multi-streaming or what we may do with that. But for right now, we're enjoying some really decent high quality broadcasts, so that way you guys can get to experience everything that iRacing has to offer and all the amazing graphics that we can produce and give to you guys for 1080p potentially here in a bit. We're going to try 1440p as well, maybe even 4K here in the next little while, so that way you guys can get a picture clean, perfect presentation of all these amazing drivers and what they're doing out there on the speedways. We'll get ready now to pull K-Dub up here into the booth. Is K-Dub waiting patiently down pit side? Let's pull him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey Kevin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Man, Kev, another great run, another great race here at a super speedway for you, man. This one looked like it was going to be yours after making some moves down the back straightaway. You end up getting some help to your back bumper. You get around Nicholas Snyder and down through 3 and 4. It looked to be yours until teammates get lined up there on your back bumper, and Robert Howard pulls the trigger at the right time and beats you back down across the line to steal the win away from you here tonight. But man, it's good to see you be able to finish one of these races still on all 4 tires here this evening, as there was craziness back behind you, but here you are able to pull it up into another solid podium here in that Muhlenberger Custom Homes ride. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind right now?
Yeah, man, that was a crazy race. I got in that first wreck and almost went on my lid there too. I felt to get airborne, and I was like, oh, here we go. But luckily she sat back down all 4 tires, and then with I knew I had damage, right? So but with the stages that we have this season, I was kind of rolling the dice. So I don't know if you're watching, but I drove through the pits so I could get back to the lead, and then I knew the stage was going to end on the completion of 23. I had a lap with fuel left. So I told my teammate Gordon to pit with me so I could have a drafting help. So I got the stage points, and then I came in and I had like 3 minutes of optional, and my truck had no rear bumper, no right front fender. I mean, it was driving like shit, right? So then me and Gordon got lapped, and then I got a lucky dog on one of those cautions, and then got all my damage fixed, got all 3 minutes fixed, and just kind of worked my way up to the front there, and put myself, in the right spot, and too many times I've been leading these races or right in second, and I make my move, and I either get split or wrecked or whatever. So I told myself I'm just gonna sit behind Snyder and see what happens, right? So I was behind him, and then off of 2, he tried to block. I don't know who. Someone was coming on the high side. He just tried to block, so I went underneath, and then hopefully that someone came with me, and the 50 and the 64 came with me, and I didn't know the 64 was behind the 50, so I thought I could hold the 50 off, but those two just timed that move perfectly, and then Tyler Lemon tried to give me a shot there at the end, but it wasn't quite enough. But props to Howard for getting his first win HCK in crazy fashion. That was like the perfect move, textbook, pull out there, and we didn't wreck there, the top 7. So, but yeah, I mean my night was crazy. I honestly didn't even think I would be sitting here in a podium after all that damage. I didn't even take a fast break. I still had it. I was kind of saving it, and like I said, that if you were watching me about halfway that race, that truck, I couldn't handle that thing. I had no rear bumper, no nothing. So yeah, I mean that was a crazy Daytona, but happy to finally finish one of these off, facing the right way, in the right direction, I guess. And good stage points, with the win and P seconds, which should be the points that are going to next week at Auto Club.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're able to get those bonus points for the stage there. You're obviously able to finish here in second. Yeah, we talked about the damage to that truck, the strategy that you were going with there, trying to earn the stage win, and then obviously having that damage, having to pit there. You're behind the ball, and luckily enough, a few of these caution flags throughout the race, which are, normally not what we see. We don't normally see a lot of yellow flags here, but we saw, enough that it was able to give you that opportunity to come down pit road, get those repairs, get this truck fixed up without using that quick repair, and get yourself back into the battle here this evening. And it's all for such a great reason, because here you are duking it out for the race win and almost capturing tonight's opening victory here in Daytona. But man, hell of a run, hell of a performance, and a great rebound here this evening for the Muhlenberger Custom Homes number 42 Ryan K-Dub. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, as always, I'm going to shout out to my sponsor, Bruce Muhlenberger, Muhlenberger Custom Homes. Come on board and sponsor me in this league. And all my other leagues, I know he's a huge supporter of mine, so shout out to you, Bruce. Got this thing back up on podium again. Second, I want to give a shout out to my teammate Gordon. That guy, he he did not need to pit there with me after the stage, but he did. He stuck to his guns, and I hate that he got, trapped lap down and couldn't get it back. But that's the definition of a teammate right there. That guy, he put it all on the line for me. So huge thank to him, and I definitely owe him one in the future when it comes down to this league or another league I run with him in. So shout out to you, Gordon, for doing that for me, helping me there. Shout out to all Lincoln Nation, Shauna, Brandon, Justin, Brett, Nicole, Dylan, Gordon, all them guys that come out every night and support me. I can't thank enough. I know it was a good one from them to watch, and they always like when I get on the podium and finish good. So props to you guys for coming on out. Props to all the league guys that came out. It's a new season. A lot of the old guys came back. A couple new guys here tonight, but kind of disappointed with the low truck count. But still got, I think, 22 or 23, so hopefully we can keep that strong in the rest of the season. But yeah, it was just typical Daytona. I didn't really expect it to be a green flag race. That's what I was kind of banking on with the whole stage thing, and I got lucky with that. But yeah, props to everybody for coming on, and keeping it clean for the most part there, and then all the league admins, that put this on. I know it's a lot of work, including myself with all that. So props to them. Props to all the series sponsors that came on board this season for all their their time and dedication. It really means a lot to put this on for those guys, and hopefully they enjoyed the race. And then props to you, man, for putting the killer broadcast. You kill it every week, no matter what you broadcast, dirt stuff, road stuff, or this stuff. So props to you, man. Keep up the good work, and happy belated birthday. I think it was 2 days ago, 1 day ago, something like that. So happy belated birthday to you, and we will catch everybody at Auto Club next week.
Absolutely. Well, Wanker, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening, man. Congratulations on the second place finish. And yeah, we can't wait to see you guys back in action next Tuesday and see, if you can try to back up this second place finish, maybe with another podium run, maybe even trying to get yourself one spot better and back up into victory lane.
Yep, we will sure try to do that. So I will catch you next Tuesday, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Kevin Wanker as K-Dub comes home here in the second position here this evening after Howard picks up the win. Wanker comes home in second. Now we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, Cal Turbeville. Hey, Cal, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You had a copy?
Yes, sir.
Cal, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here this evening as you're able to get that 64 ride up here into third, but you push your teammate Robert Howard to the race win, man. Take us back through it and what's kind of going through your mind after a pretty crazy night of racing action here at Daytona International Speedway for our season opener.
Yeah, well, for the most part, the race was pretty well tame all the way through. It got close to the end, and it started ramping up like it always does. A little more cautious than I had expected at the end, but what are you gonna do about them? It kind of worked out in our favor. There at the end, freaking last lap, took out our other teammate Evan, and we was just kind of all wind in the sails, and we was just seeing what we can scrounge out of it. And I wasn't expecting Rob was gonna be able to shuffle out like he did, but he was able to get around him and get a really good run coming to the end. And I was telling him to jump on out, and he finally did, and I was able to get him that last little bit to get him across the line. Glad to see it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see it. First time winner here for Robert Howard, putting the 50 ride up and into victory lane. And, it was almost too little too late making that move to the outside. But, man, it seemed like it was perfectly timed as they just gave him enough to jump up, steal that race win from Winker. But, man, that was a hell of a battle and a hell of a race back down the line. And obviously making some big moves for him and big moves for yourself there on that final lap. And all of a sudden coming out of 3 and 4, you're able to jump down and get in behind the 50 ride to put yourself in the team into this position. Did you think you guys were going to get lined up like that late in this race? Did you think you'd find each other here after all the carnage and mayhem that was unfolding out there on the racetrack?
We wasn't really planning on it. We was trying to just stay 1, 2, 3 or in a little line somewhere, expecting something was going to happen where we could all escape it, but it claimed Evan, and we just was in the right place at the right time, got really lucky with how it shuffled out, and it come out in our favor.
Absolutely, it did. As you're able to come home with a solid third-place finish. The team coming home 1-3 here this evening. Unfortunately for Evan in his first race here on the season, it will still come home, limp it home here to a 12th place finish. But man, a solid run and great performance all night long for the team and for yourself, Cal. Who would you like to thank here this evening for such a great race and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
I'd like to thank HCK for doing such a great job of putting this league on. I'd like to thank you for the wonderful job you're doing broadcasting this race. I'd like to thank Rob and Evan. They helped me out a ton tonight. It was the first night running with Evan in a league race, and I think it worked out pretty good for us. I'd like to thank my mom and daddy, whoever else is watching at home. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Beauty. Well, Cal, heck of a run, heck of a drive here this evening, brother. Hopefully many more trips up here into the booth throughout Season 8 of the HCK Beagles Racing League here this season, man, and many trips potentially back up here in the victory lane this season as well, Cal. As a heck of a start, heck of a great run, and hopefully we see you right back up here next Tuesday.
Yes, sir. I plan on it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Cal Turbeville, as Turbeville comes home in position number 3 here this evening. As Dimitri Curtis, how are you, Dimitri? Dimitri in the chat as well says that was fun. Definitely need to work on side drafting stability. Truck was getting loose, he says. It was getting loose out there. Says new wheel should help a little. Well, brother, hey, new wheel, new you. That could be the big difference maker. And obviously lots of seat time, more and more experience, more and more time in these races. You're just going to get better and better and better at it, brother. And we know for certain you're going to be a tough cookie here in not too long from now. And it's going to be a lot of fun to watch that Friends for Pets ride duke it out each and every single week. Every single Tuesday of the week, and maybe even some other days if we see in some of the other series as well. As we also see Cheryl coming in, says thank you HCK Beagles for great entertainment. Absolutely. Shout out there to HCK Beagles Racing League. Obviously, not only having the series back, but also having me back up into the booth. And then shout out to our amazing sponsors here as well for the HCK Beagles, man. These guys really help make it happen. A huge shout out there to Metamorphosis Machine LLC as being our series sponsor here for the year. Huge shout out there to them coming on board, being our series sponsor. Man, we could not do it without them. Ridge Power Sports and KR Gutters coming on board again for our caution sponsor and being a part of the HCK Beagles team here for many seasons. And Tech Warrior as well coming in as well as another sponsor on the season. They sponsored our Pull Award here this afternoon, and our Pull Award went to that number 25 newcomer here. That was the 25 of Gordon Glidewell, who ended up winning that pole position here this evening. As man, some great racing, great battles, great action here, man. Some great sponsors and all these drivers as well. Shout out to them, man. Each and every one of them. You heard from K-Dub there. We talked about how car counts felt down, but they really aren't down. I mean, 22, 23 cars is still pretty good, but they are still open. They are still allowing more drivers to join in onto the action. So if you guys want to join the fun, become part of the HCK Beagles Truck Series here for the season. I do believe there's still 21 races left on the season. I'm not sure what the payment is for being in the series or anything else, but if you guys want, get a hold of myself over on Facebook, over on Twitter or Discord, and we can point you in the right direction, get you into the HCK Beagles Discord, and get you guys pointed in the right direction. You can check them out on Facebook as well over at the HCK Beagles Racing League, I do believe, over on Twitch, Truck Racing League over there on Facebook, and that way you can join in the fun, become part of the series, become part of the show, and battle with all these amazing drivers, all these amazing competitors, Tuesday after Tuesday after Tuesday. But listen, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, all the fans in the stands, man. We do this all for you guys, man. Everyone that came in with the likes, the comments, the shares, man, we appreciate each and every single one of you. If you became a new subscriber here, or if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today. That way you never miss it when we go green flag racing here on Peacemaker Gaming. And we'll be back up here into the booth tomorrow night as we get some dirt track racing action tomorrow evening as the Dirt Warrior Racing League Dirt Street Stocks back in it, back to battle next tomorrow night. It's gonna be a lot of fun, could be some great racing. We can't wait to see you guys there. But thank y'all for watching, thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Woo, man, what a run, what a race, what a performance for our first race back here in Season 8 of the HCK Beagles Truck Series.
Vision. Planning. Possibility. At Metamorphosis Machine, we turn ideas into engineered reality. Whether you're working with plastics, composites, ferrous or non-ferrous metals, our capabilities and vast partner network ensure no project is too big, too small, or too complex. From concept to completion, your success starts here. Discover how Metamorphosis can elevate your machining needs today. Precision.
Engines, swinging tires, break the ground. Beagles, trucks, where legends are crowned. Metamorphosis, name burning in the night. Lights, flash, speed, clash, we're taking flight. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. Staying close to the windshark blade. Adrenaline rush feels a fire grenade. Roaring past the clouds, will let you roar. Every lap, every turn, craving more. Push the pedal down, nothing left to lose. Victory's a choice, and this is what we choose. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. No time to spare. Push the pedal down, nothing left to lose. Victory's a choice, and this is what we choose. Racing thunder, tearing the air. Beagles, trucks, we're beyond compare. Metamorphosis, we ride, we dare. Fast and loud, no time to spare. Rubber bones, streams ignite. Steel beats charging into the fight. No regrets, no slowing down. We're the kings of this battleground. No time to spare. No time to spare. No time to spare. No time to spare. Engines, swinging tires, break the ground. Beagles, trucks, where legends are crowned. Metamorphosis, name burning in the night. Lights, flash, speed, clash, we're taking flight.